January, February, March, April, May. Each month of the year is an opportunity to change your look, your style, your hairstyle. At least in my world, yes. Black woman born in Canada and of Haitian origin, I grew up with rather unique habits when it comes to my hair. And when I talk about unique habits, I am talking about culture. But these habits do not necessarily come from Haitian culture. Oh no. These are habits that you have surely noticed many other Black women in the world belonging to the African diaspora share. This hair culture, therefore, has a deeper origin than what we think. And today, I will try to explore the depth of these origins. So first, we must go back in time to the beginning. To the beginning, you say, well, yes, Africa. A continent overflowing with riches, both in its culture and also its beings. Africa is considered to be the largest continent in the world, as well as the richest in minerals in the world. This huge geographical territory contains several countries, 54 I believe to be exact, which each have their own heritage, culture, and languages. Again, each country is in fact inhabited by individuals who hold deep within them a greater heritage than which was imposed on them by European colonizers. They keep in them the history of their tribes. Indeed, a long time ago, this continent was populated not by people in search of gold or silver, but rather by multiple clans and ethnic kingdoms, each carrying the genesis weight on their shoulders, the unawareness of the outside world, and the freedom to live as they please while having the power to choose their own traditions. The traditions related to the hairstyle were of capital importance within some of these tribes. These different hairstyles could indicate marital status, age, religion, ethnic identity, wealth, a person's rank, family name, health status, geographical origin, and the clan to which they belong. For example, amongst the Watabis, who qualify the maintenance of their hair as being of great necessity to life, holy and long hair is for them a sign of fertility. The Watabi belong to the Fulani people, who also share the same ideologies. They circulate particularly between Niger, Chad, Nigeria, and Cameroon. Traces of the Fulani people can also be found in northern Africa. Then there is Afar, a tribe located in the northeast of Ethiopia. Afars are the oldest tribe of Ethiopia. Like all other African tribes, it is not abnormal to see an Afar woman adorned with jewelry, beads, and braids in order to demonstrate their wealth. The men, on the other hand, either wear a tousled and buttered afro in order to protect their scalp from the beating sun, or curl their hair with a stick, butter, or cow fat. There are also the Himbas, an indigenous people located in the north of Namibia, who definitely stand out for their long, thick extensions and their reddish skin. For Himba women, their hair is a symbol of power. Living in the middle of a desert where water is scarce, they use a mixture of paste to seal the hydration of their body and their hair. This paste is actually a mixture of aromatic resin from the Omazumba shrub with animal fat and crushed red pigmented stone. The red color given by the paste symbolizes both blood, the essence of life, and the rich red color of the earth. A young Himba woman hid her face with her dreadlocks to indicate that she was going through puberty, while dreadlocks attached to the back of the head were worn by women seeking marriage. Several other types of traditional hairstyles can be found among many African Aboriginal people. Hair was considered divine because of its position at the top of the head, and allowing someone to touch it meant that you could trust them. As you may have noticed, many of these hairstyles resemble what we wear today. It is amazing how much history keeps repeating itself. The women of tomorrow will unconsciously use the same techniques used by their African ancestors. Let's move forward a bit in time. It's on 1492 that Christopher Columbus discovers Cuba. Then on 1494 that he discovers the Jamaican territory. The first African slaves arrived in Jamaica in 1517. After 1600, the Portuguese deposited some Angolans in Jamaica, Brazil, and Hispaniola, which is today Haiti and Dominican Republic. As you can see in these photos, men shaved their hair and Black women had to protect their hair by wearing hats or scarves. We will come back to the Caribbean later. Let's take a trip to the United States. The first African slaves arrived in the United States in 1619 in the town of Jamestown in Virginia. This act would be the beginning of a long, fiery battle for the African American nation in the United States. Before transporting them, captors and traders shaved the heads of all African adults and children taken into captivity. The claimed purpose for this action was to prepare for the unsanitary conditions of the ships. Due to the cultural and spiritual importance of hair to Africans, the practice of involuntarily having one's head shaved before being sold out into slavery was in itself a very dehumanizing act. Like Jamaicans and other Caribbean slaves, African Americans lived in very bad conditions and lacked the tools and time to care for their hair. And if you have afro hair, you know that it takes a lot of time to take care of your hair. To achieve a more feminine look, some women ironed their hair to make it smooth, or they wrapped their hair by brushing it and binding small sections with yarn or cotton. The best known hair technique among enslaved African Americans was braids and cornrows. This style of hair was often forced on slaves who worked indoors when they refused to wear scarves, hats, or even wigs. Cornrows became symbols of freedom, and different styles and patterns were used as guides to plantations, resembling roads and paths to walk or avoid, or even guides to escape from those plantations. Following the abolition of slavery, women were free to wear their natural hair in the open air. The problem was that their hair texture was still seen as degrading and unclean in the eyes of American society, and the media promoted a Eurocentric beauty ideal that included straight hair. Living under these conditions, it was then difficult for Black women to find work or even to be accepted by society in general. The fact of assimilating into the white community was for some an ideal, since it represented, according to them, an opportunity to succeed and be accepted. To straighten their hair, African American women used hair products and either a wide bristle presser or a hot comb, which is a metal tool that was heated in an oven or on a stovetop before going through the hair. Another method to straighten frizzy hair or curly hair was the relaxer. The first historical documentation of the relaxer was by inventor Garrett Augustus Morgan in 1909. The relaxer was used for men just like women. Part 2 is coming soon, so stay tuned and subscribe.